OPPO makes great selfie phones, that's a given. In the past though, the rest of the package of OPPO phones has generally been lacking in some form or the other. Especially the pricing has been a bit on the higher side. But what if OPPO made a smartphone with a great display, a good camera, great hardware software optimization, and generally the works? Well, the OPPO F7 is exactly that phone for you. It is a primo smartphone which is priced just right. Can't believe it? Well, I'm Ershad from Mr. Phone, and here's our full review of the OPPO F7. Before you start watching the review, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to get notified about more such awesome tech videos. At Mr. Phone, we received the red variant of the OPPO F7 for review. At first glance, it looks like the phone is made of glass, but it is not really so. In fact, it is made of plastic and has some sort of shiny layer on top of it. While deceptive, I don't think the phone looks like it is made from some inferior material. In fact, it looks premium and attractive. I actually had the chance to check out the black color variant of the phone with diamond cut patterns on the rear at the launch event. I found it prettier than the red one. Looks aside, the phone is not really sturdy as I would have ideally liked it to be. However, calling it flimsy wouldn't be right. But worry not, because you can put the phone in a bundled TPU cover if you like. I'm not really a fan of the cover because it has a very big lip and affects the user experience when I'm swiping on the display. Also, the phone's entire body, the front, back, left, right, attracts fingerprints very easily. You will need a microfiber cloth in case you want to use the phone smudge free. The phone's 6.23-inch display makes up for most of the front fascia, and it is a 19:9 aspect ratio panel. There are very small bezels all around, and of course there is a notch. I'm going to avoid the whole discourse about how I hate the notch, because considering I've already reviewed 3 phones that include the notch, I'm immune to this trend now. I guess you will also after using the phones for a while. Just like the Vivo V9, the F7 also sticks to a micro USB port instead of a USB Type-C one. I can't wrap my head around the fact that brands like Xiaomi, Vivo and OPPO, disregarding the Xiaomi Mi A1, have not moved to the USB Type-C standard already, especially when they are adopting newer smartphone trends like 18:9 aspect ratio displays and AI technologies. This is baffling really. Well, moving on, the power button is on the right and the volume rocker is on the left. Both these buttons are adequately tactile and you shouldn't face too much of a problem with it. You also get a SIM card tray on the right. You can insert 2 nano SIM cards and a micro SD card at the same time. Thankfully, you don't have to sacrifice any slots in case you want to use both SIMs, which you would have had to on a hybrid slot. Moving on, the fingerprint scanner is placed at the ideal location on the rear. It is easy to access and opens up the phone really fast. But you won't need it because the face unlock on the OPPO F7 is that good. No, it is not OnePlus 5T good, but it definitely comes close, which is still a big deal. The F7 has a 6.23-inch 1080 by 2280 in-cell IPS LCD panel, which is characterized by its notch. What I like about this panel is the display and the touch substrate are packed so tightly that the icons feel like they're literally on the display. You feel like you're actually touching the icons when you use the phone. The panel also offers a good color accuracy with a fairly neutral white point, and the viewing angles are great too. While the display can get adequately bright to ensure that the viewing in direct sunlight is not a problem, I would have ideally preferred slightly higher nits. In case you're a tinkerer, the software also gives you the option to change the color temperature. Overall, the display is a good step up from previous OPPO phones. OPPO's latest update to ColorOS 5.0 has been created ground up to ensure that the software blends well with the notch. What's awesome is that OPPO has decided to create this skin over the latest version of Android 8.1 Oreo. The best part is that the phone supports Project Treble, meaning it will now be easier for OPPO to provide faster software updates to Android and the latest security patches as well. As always, let me break down what I like and what I don't like in ColorOS 5.0. Let's start off with what I like. OPPO has managed to use the notch to great effect. If you enable the full screen multitasking feature from the smart and convenient option in the settings app, you can use it to access quick apps and quick functions. Basically, in landscape mode, the phone uses the right side of the notch to display apps, which is essentially the quick apps mode, and the left side for 3 specific commands, which is capture a screenshot, record a screen video, and put the phone in do not disturb mode. Also, gestures are the best thing to happen to Android in ages. The F7 has them too. In fact, OPPO also provides you the option to switch around gestures according to your preference. Seriously, just swipe away to glory. Also, OPPO has doubled down on the security features on the phone. From identifying anti-harassment calls when someone calls you, to a secure keyboard that pops up exactly when you're typing a password, OPPO is taking your security seriously. There's also a private safe for your sensitive documents and photos in your phone. Moving on to the stuff that I don't like. Let's start off with the lack of originality in the software UI design. From the folder design to the layout of the settings panel, it looks very similar to Apple's iOS's design. Also, the clock is placed on the left of the notch, which is weird because ideally it should be placed on the right. That is where your eye naturally searches for it first. Also, a simple task like changing a wallpaper involves multiple steps. And weirdly, ColorOS doesn't give you the option to set as both lock screen and home screen wallpaper. This is primarily because it puts a major emphasis on the lock screen magazine. This feature lets you automatically cycle through a set of wallpapers, and I'm not really a fan of it. On default Android, you can actually swipe a notification to delete it. But ColorOS has different ideas. It wants you to swipe and then hit the delete button to actually do so, which is definitely annoying. Unlike the Vivo V9, the F7 doesn't come with a lot of bloatware, but the fact that it still has a few is annoying. Finally, duplication of apps is still a major problem here. Come on now, OPPO. If you're going to have two apps, both named Photos, that's going to irk anyone. Despite all the issues though, I think ColorOS is still a lot more refined compared to Vivo's FunTouch OS. Once again, OPPO is highlighting the AI-based camera features on the F7. This time around, AI is powered by the MediaTek Helio P60 system on chip. More on that later. I did an extensive camera comparison with the V9 and the Redmi Note 5 Pro, and the F7 was surprisingly good. Link to which will be in a card on the top left corner of the video. The long and short of that comparison was that the OPPO F7 can take some decent low light shots thanks to the f/1.8 aperture lens attached to 16 megapixel sensors. And it goes without saying that the F7 also takes great selfies. The AR stickers feature is also really cool, but the F7's video recording is highly handicapped. Apart from shooting in just 1080p, the footage is also not electronically stabilized either. More of the phone records mono audio, which is definitely a downer. Internally, the F7 comes with a new Helio P60 chip. For the spec nerds out there, the P60 has an 8-core system on chip that includes 4 high-performance Cortex A73 chips clocked at 2 GHz each and 4 high-efficiency Cortex A53 chips clocked at 2 GHz each. I ran a plethora of benchmark tests and came away completely surprised. I've also written an article about it, link to which is in the description below. The long and short of it is that the P60 offers higher numbers than the Snapdragon 636 and the Snapdragon 660. Which is stupendous considering MediaTek is positioning this as a super mid-range chip. In day-to-day usage, the phone just bulldozes through applications and I didn't face any slowdowns whatsoever. Shadowgun Legends, a graphically heavy game that can stress most Android phones with mid-range chips, also works with only a few lags during tense firefights. The memory management is pretty good too. Moreover, you can individually decide if you want to restrict access to any app from the settings app to reduce battery usage. And it does all this without heating up once. You must be wondering, what about battery life then? Well, the 3400 mAh battery can easily last you a day's worth of heavy usage with at least 15% battery life left over. Who'd have thought that OPPO would make a phone for the performance nerds out there? The F7 also offers good call quality. I could hear the person on the call clearly and vice versa. The audio quality through the bundled earpods lookalike is okay at best, but OPPO's inbuilt DAC managed to power the reference FiiO F9 Pro earphones with ease. So I'd suggest switching the bundled earphones with a pair of better earphones to experience the true potential of the OPPO F7. The speaker at the bottom can get adequately loud, but it could have been better in my opinion. So should you buy the OPPO F7? If you can look past the software niggles and the glossy exterior of the OPPO F7, it is really a stellar phone. It is an all-rounder really with great hardware performance, good cameras and a crisp display and more. Ideally, I would have liked better video performance, but OPPO had to cut corners somewhere. In fact, the F7 can be a contender for the best smartphone under Rs 25,000 at the end of 2018. As far as alternatives are concerned, the Vivo V9 and the Nokia 7 Plus come immediately to mind. While both are great phones, and I haven't actually used the Nokia 7 Plus yet, so I'll reserve the judgment on that phone for now. But if it were to be a toss-up between the OPPO F7 and the Vivo V9, I'd pick the OPPO F7 in a heartbeat. But does that matter really? Because in the end, BBK Electronics, the owner of OPPO and Vivo, is the one that's going to be laughing all the way to the bank. Once again, I'm Ershad from Mr. Phone. I hope you liked my review of the OPPO F7. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to get notified about more such awesome tech videos.